Okay, I'm sitting here with
Don Wilson.
Okay, I couldn't hear you, but it's okay.
Don Wilson.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And this is basically Don. So how do you feel about like society and the way people are treating each other?
I think it's better now than it ever has been in history. You know? Like, I think the ideal that we have in our mind, there's still a long ways to go before we actually have peace and understanding.
Yeah.
And I think we're all working towards that goal. I think.
Yeah, definitely. So, Don, if now the people you love around you and the people you care about, would you say you treat them with just like the way you want to be treated?
I try to.
Try to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can only try. I mean, sometimes people are just they need to keep learning. They're not there yet, you know.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
Exactly it, yeah. Everybody's got to learn on their own with their place in the world and how they react to it.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess I have to say the reason why I feel the way I do about society here and maybe different than other places. I was raised in Iowa, and people are a lot different there. It's just like I've been to Italy, you know, people are way different there. Everywhere you go, there's different people, there's different ways of life. And I feel like in Seattle, it's hard for people because maybe the weather gets people down,
Yeah.
you know, and then I've got friends that are working 2 jobs that can barely support, can't even keep an apartment almost, and they're working 2 jobs just because there's no work, you know. So Don, I'd like to thank you for the interview.
Hey,
Something real short and sweet, but I appreciate
What was
the
your name?
question. Colin.
call it.
Yeah.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah.
Do I
All right.
wear my sunglasses or not?
It doesn't matter to me. So hi there. I'm doing an interview. What's your name? You don't have to say your name if you don't want to.
Okay.
So I have 5 questions to ask you. First question's where did you grow up? What like where'd you grow up?
Renton.
Renton, okay. Second question is how do you think people can treat each other better?
By not being so intrusive for no reason.
Okay. Third question. Can you talk about the last time you helped a stranger in trouble?
I've never helped a stranger in trouble.
Okay.
I haven't harmed them.
I mean, like, help someone who was in trouble, who needed your help.
Oh, then I'll just say they're my friend and help them.
Okay. Can you tell me about the last friend you made?
Right there.
Awesome. That's awesome, you guys.
Oh, I don't know if I want to talk about them yet.
And then, the last question is something bad you've done but learned from it.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, probably.
You can just say like, you know, everybody's done something maybe not real bad, but just something kind of bad but maybe you just learned from your lesson. You learned your lesson from.
I stole something once that I shouldn't have.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the interview. Who's Colin, by the way? Nice to meet you.
Rachel.
Rachel. Okay. So I got 5 questions to ask you today.
Okay.
My first question is, where did you grow up?
Here in Washington.
Washington. Okay. How do you think people can treat other people better?
Stop talking so much shit.
Stop talking so much shit. All right.
Stop judging people so much. I guess.
Judging people, yeah. Number 3. Can you talk about the last time you helped a stranger in trouble?
I was working downtown and I met this homeless couple. I didn't realize they were homeless, and then they told me, and so I brought them a whole bunch of like blankets, stuff like that.
That's
Jackets,
awesome.
yeah.
That's really awesome of you. And then the 4th question is, tell me about the last friend you made.
Here at work.
At work? Okay. Oh, and just someone you met working with?
Yeah, I work with her.
Okay. The last question. Something bad you've done and what you learned from it. Like maybe something bad, like some people say like, oh, I stole something one time, but I learned it was bad or something. And if you've never done anything bad, you're just an angel, then that's okay too.
Well, I guess one time I stole a sale and I felt bad.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, Rachel,
Yes.
thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thanks for being. And I'm gonna be making a YouTube video if that's okay with you.
Okay.
And I'm sitting here with a friend of mine that I just met, and we're talking about some questions. And what's your name?
Casey.
Casey. Casey, I'm Colin. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
nice to meet you. So the first question I want to ask you, Casey, is where did you grow up?
I grew up all over the place. I moved around like every couple of years, but mostly Washington.
Washington. See, that's like me. I've grown up everywhere too, so
Okay.
been all over. But second question is, how do you think people can treat other people better?
I think being kind and just being generally polite to
Yeah.
everyone you meet, not just like all over the place, but just like in the small ways.
That's how I feel too. That's great. The third question is, can you talk about the last time you helped a stranger in trouble?
Oh, the last time I helped a stranger in trouble. My husband and I were driving, actually about 10 blocks away from here, and it was at night, and there was an older woman. She looked like she was maybe in her 80s or 90s, just walking down the street like barefoot. And she was in the middle of the street, and she was about to get hit by a car. So we put her in our car and tried to take her to where she was supposed to be. I think maybe she had like Alzheimer's or something because she was really, really confused. But we just kind of were in the right place at the right time to get her home at least. So
That's really admirable of you. It's really good. Good.
Well,
That's what I would.
she was gonna get hit by a car.
That's
so
what
I
I
don't know if
would've
it was
done.
too admirable, but
Well, you just didn't want her, to get hurt.
Yeah.
You still cared about her. That's
Yeah.
good. So tell me the last friend that you made, and what about that?
last friend that I made. Well, I just met you moments ago.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, I recently started a new job, and I've been lucky enough to get to become friends with the people that I work with. So
That's
nice.
awesome. And you
Yeah.
feel like it's a good connection.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. Well, I have one last question for you, and it's something bad you've done and what you learned from it, and maybe how you changed since then.
Something bad I've done and how I've learned from it. I used to be a really terrible driver. Like I used to drive over the speed limit like all the time.
Yeah.
And just didn't really pay attention, I guess, to being a good driver.
Yeah.
And I became a nanny when I was in college, and I had to drive the kids around a lot, and it made me realize that I probably should be a little more careful.
So you realize that by being more careful, you're making people safer
Yeah.
too, in a way.
Other people.
Other
yeah,
people,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Thanks for being on the video, and have a great day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, you too.
Yeah. My name's Colin. I'm sitting here with
Anthony.
Anthony. Nice to meet you, Anthony. So I have a few questions I want to ask before his bus gets here. So Anthony, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in West St. Paul, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay, West St. Paul, Minnesota. Cool. The second question is, how do you think people can treat each other better?
They're just more mindful of other people's, I can't think of the word. Just be more mindful of other people.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick.
I got you. Number 3 is, can you talk about the last time you helped a stranger in need or in trouble?
Well, I volunteer at a hospital, and just someone was lost in place, and they seemed distraught, and they were elderly, and just couldn't find their way around. So wasn't technically my job, but I just took the time to hey, where are you going? Oh yeah, you need to walk over to this place, and I walked over to the place, and they were really grateful, and they made their appointment time, so I felt pretty good about it afterwards.
That's awesome, Anthony. That's awesome. Tell me about the last friend you made.
Last friend I made was, I have no idea.
It's been a while.
Yeah, well, I
Real
meet
true
new people all
friend.
the time, yeah.
Well, yeah, you meet a lot of acquaintances, but
Yeah.
you don't meet somebody who's there for you no matter what. When you
Yeah.
need their help, you can help them back.
Yeah.
I got you. Last question is, something you may have done bad in your life, like, you know, something you've done bad but you've learned from it and you've changed? Maybe not changed, but learned from it.
Something bad that I've done. Frankly, my life's pretty boring and I can't really remember
That's okay.
anything.
All right, man. Anthony, thank you,
Obviously
man. I'm
bad.
Colin. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
And thanks for the interview. I really appreciate it.
What is this for? Like a school project or something?
I'm gonna. So hey, everyone. I'm sitting here with what's your name?
Matt.
Matt. Nice to meet you, Matt. My name's Colin, and I'm doing an interview for my YouTube video. So my first question is, Matt, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Shoreline, so North Seattle, basically.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. So, how do you think people can treat other people better?
Honestly, I just think that, you know, people should just like show the same amount of respect that they show themselves. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to show that to other people, you know.
So like, ask, get respect. Like, if you want someone to respect you, you treat them the same way you want to be treated, right?
Exactly.
At the golden rule. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Can you talk about the last time you helped a stranger in trouble?
Let's see, last time. It was probably like, I think, an hour ago. It was like at the gas station, really. Someone that just needed help, like, I think starting their car up, so I just kind of provided jumper cables for them.
Yeah.
Help them out like that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's really cool. It's good of you. Tell me about the last friend you made.
Let's see, last friend I made was probably at school last quarter. He was in one of my classes, and I think we just sat next to each other just most of the time during this quarter. So you know, we just kind of vibed off that. And, yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Okay, the last question is something you've done bad, or something bad you've done, and what you've learned from it.
Let's see, something bad I've done. Probably getting a really bad hangover the day before church and trying to skip out on that. But basically I learned, okay, one, to not go to a party the day before church, but also to, I think also just, you know, watch your limits,
Yeah.
know your limits,
Yeah.
and just make really good decisions based off of those kind of mistakes, you know.
That's great, man. That's great. If you want, I got a couple more questions I can ask.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, they're not very well written. They're very well thought out, but they're well thought out. But actually, you know what? I ripped that paper off and threw it away.
Oh,
But my question to you is like, with the society and the people the way they've been being lately, do you see things getting better or worse?
let's see. Honestly, I think there's two answers to that. It could get worse if, you know, people just, the way society is, just keep thinking of themselves nowadays
Yeah,
and
that's
not,
selfish
you know,
talk.
helping out everyone. And then I guess the second answer to that is, you know, if you can build off that and, you know, learn to be more of like an actual community that helps out instead of just, you know, looking out for ourselves. I think, you know, we can strive to be better than that and grow from that into like, you know, some community, basically.
That's awesome, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for being on the video. And you know what, dude? I'd love to talk to you about that for a second.